What's poppin'? Welcome in, GEGP. Forgot for a minute how to use the damn microphone. Welcome in the station. Welcome back to the channel. Y'all know what it is, boy Ray G. You can find me on X at RayGQue. It is Friday, the last day of February 28th. Day 2 of the scouting combine over. Tight ends, defensive backs today, and then all the other news-related stuff in the NFL world. We're going to talk about it. Appreciate y'all pulling up this evening. I was on, I think that was Wednesday night, just talking ball with the people, man. So appreciate anybody pulling up. Only thing that I ask is that you show love, engage with the good people in the comments. We're going to chop it up, have some ball talk tonight about the shit that's going down at the combine, players that are performing, participating, players that aren't, everybody upset. The combine's going to die in a couple of years. And then we got some times. We got to react to some of the 40 times, some real good numbers coming out of the defensive back group, some interesting numbers coming out of the tight end group, and some good performances coming out of the tight end group. We've been saying it for weeks, for months. This tight end class is loaded. This tight end class is unique. You've got all different archetype of tight ends. You've got your traditional inline guys. You've got your flex guys. You've got your H-backs. And we got some real good times. So we're going to pull up Combine IQ, this new thing that's run by AWS. It's dope. All the GPS data. If you're watching the Combine on NFL Network, really cool stuff that they're showing. But let's start off talking about one of the big dominoes that seems like it has fallen prior to free agency, and that is the Los Angeles Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford. Looks like he's back in town. So there's a lot of speculation about Stafford to the Raiders, Stafford to the Giants, Stafford to this team, Stafford to that team, and it looks like the best thing probably for the Rams, for Puka Nacua, for whoever's going to play the other opposite wide receiver. Cooper Kupp looks like he's going back to LA. So we got cut back to the Rams. So that leaves veteran quarterback Sam Darnold, Aaron Rodgers. There's already talk about potential Darnold with the Raiders would be a good fit. The Raiders want to win now. How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? What's good, Josh? What up, Stanley? Bendels, what's up, baby? GMGP, what's up, baby? Prof. Diaz, what's going down? Will Howard shows out tomorrow. That's what Ben Cooper talking about. Will Howard, man. Yeah, we'll see what he does. We'll get to the combine in a minute, but this NFL news is that's it. That's when you think about that, there was some speculation and some buzz that Stafford could be the Giants quarterback, and that definitely impacts what we do as far as predicting who the Giants are going to take at 3. With Stafford off of the board, it seems like even more possibility that the Giants are in play for a quarterback for real. It's rumored that Tennessee at this point in time has no interest in a quarterback. They're not taking a quarterback. Cleveland's all in on a quarterback, and then Dayball and Shane trying to figure it out there in New York. But Stafford is off of the books. Giants fans, if y'all in the building, talk to me. Giants and Aaron Rodgers. How y'all feeling, Giants fans? Aaron Rodgers in New York. Does that even happen? Does Aaron Rodgers even go from the Jets to the Giants? I mean, how would y'all feel about that? I don't know. I'm just I'm just off the cuff. I feel like the Giants offensive line is just as bad, if not worse, than the Jets. You got Malik Neighbors, you've got Theo Johnson, you hope can develop. You got Wandell, but I mean, Aaron Rodgers gonna be running around for his damn life. Dealing with Micah Parsons twice a year. You got to deal with the Eagles twice a year. I don't know if Rodgers is where you want to go, man. I don't know about that one. Yeah, Otis says, where does Rodgers go now? I don't know, man. I really, they're saying the Pittsburgh thing. What's Tennessee going to do? That's my question. If the smoke and the buzz is for real, that the Titans are not interested in a quarterback at 1 overall, what do? Because I refuse to believe you cannot sell me. I don't care if it was 99% off that Brian Callahan, an offensive mind, is going to go into next season with Will Levis and Mason Rudolph if he's even under contract as quarterback. I refuse to believe that. He gave it a fair shake, and I'm not even mad at him. He came into a situation where Will Levis was already there. You bring in Calvin Ridley. You got Tony Pollard. Spears was banged up this year, but it didn't work out. They're not going into next season. I'm not buying that shit. I'm not buying Tennessee going into the next season with Will Levis. So is that a spot? You got Kirk Cousins available, maybe, right? If they trade with Atlanta. Darnold's a free agent. Fields, I don't know. Is Tennessee a spot for Rodgers? Travis Hunter to Tennessee if they know what's good. Low moving cost bonus. What's up, Moggs? What's happening with you? A-Rod in the NFL is disgusting. All right, Craig. Why you say that? Rodgers needs to find a couch and stay there. All right, so people know Rodgers to Seattle. Oh, man, Seattle's got Geno, man. Geno's good. What are we talking about, man? Rodgers goes into retirement. He's with my mom's. My mom's retired today, officially for the second time. She was like, I'm done. Came back, said, I'm done again. Good for y'all. Yeah, Rodgers goes into retirement. All right, well, Rams got their quarterback. Giants still looking and searching. And to that point, I know y'all saw it. I know you heard about it. I know you saw it. Let's pull it up and talk about it. Let's pull it up and talk about it. Shador Sanders. Let's listen to Shador at the podium today. Let's listen to Shador.
If that's not what you're trying to do, don't get me. If you ain't trying to change the franchise or the coaches, don't get me. So you should know history repeats itself over and over and over. And I've done it over and over and over. So it should be no question why NFL franchise should pick me.
Shador, you think he's the top quarterback in this draft, and why?
Of course. Now the thing is, I respect a lot of quarterbacks here. They put a lot of hard work in to get to this point. So it's kudos to them. It's truly respect, but I know what I bring to the table.
All right, so Shador Sanders, one of the top quarterbacks in the draft class. You know, he said, if you're not looking to change the culture, if you're not looking to do this, I've won everywhere I've been. I changed the culture at Jackson State. I helped change the culture at Colorado. That's what I'm trying to do at the next level. This rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. A lot of people did not like this. Disrespecting the game. Never won a big game in his life. Talking about changing the NFL franchise. It's just one account. Just a couple of comments from one account, right? Does anyone know how to bet on him falling to the second round? That's fine if you believe he's a second round pick. I wish he acted a little more professional. What else do we have? Oh, here's one from that clip. The translation is "It's all about me." Supposedly the best quarterback in college football with the best player in college football on his team. Result: no big wins. Embarrassed by white boys at BYU. Titans need him in his. So the point is, people did not care for old Shador, saying that he wants to come in and he's going to help change the culture and change the direction of a franchise. What do y'all think? Jamie, what's up? Shane, Manila, what's up? What are y'all thinking? I'm not here to tell anybody how they should feel, how they should think. And I'm also not going to, I may disagree with you, but I'm not going to make your opinion feel any less valid than my opinion, because they're just their opinions and we're all entitled to them. I truly find it fascinating when we as a people decide what type of competitive edge we want to see. Like we love to change the thermometer on that, right? We love to change the thermometer on the levels of success and how much you can and cannot say. You know, you can say anything, but not too much. You could say it this way, but not that way. Do this and don't say it like that. I do believe that you want your players to have a level of arrogance or confidence is maybe a better word about them going into the job. Like if we're hiring somebody, I want them to, hell yeah, we're going to come in and I'm going to do a better job than the person that was here before me. It may not be right away, and that's no disrespect to the people that came before me, but that's what I plan to do. When you hire me, I plan to come in and do my job at 110%. That's my expectation. You may not like the way that he got his hat or he's got his jewels shining, but what he said at the core of I want to change it for. Why would you not want to hear that? I didn't hear from him that I'm coming in and I'm better than anybody, that I deserve more respect and credence than Myles Garrett or TJ Watt. I'm just throwing out veteran names, right? I know the Steelers aren't picking there. Jeffrey Simmons or Denzel Ward. Go to the Giants. Dexter Lawrence, even, Kevon Thibodeau. He's not staying. I'm stepping in and y'all acquiesce and bow down to me. It was a lot of what Cam Ward said. Cam Ward at his podium, he said, at this stage and profession of our career, I don't need to motivate you in the NFL. I shouldn't need to motivate a group of grown professional men. I didn't have a problem at all. And if you listen to the full context of what he said and how he said it, it didn't seem like a selfish thing. Why is it that this is, I kind of know why, so I'm asking a rhetorical, but why did this one rub people so wrong? And I don't even, Jason. I don't even want to, you tweet stuff out for reactions, but I don't even want to get to. I don't think he was talking any talk. I think he is confidently saying, every step of the way, when he was a 4-star recruit that was recruited by major collegiate programs, he went to an HBCU that was not a powerhouse football program. And yes, with the help of a fantastic defense and good transfers that they brought in, and of course, Travis Hunter, they did change that Jackson State program and set that program on a different trajectory. When they took their Louis Vuitton luggage to Boulder, Colorado, they inherited a bottom 10 program. And in the course of a season and a half, I believe that team won 8 or 9 games. He inherited a bottom 10 program, and in the course of a season, they went from a 3-4 win team to an 8-9 win team. There is some level of credibility that one must put on a player who was, Shador led college football in touchdown passes, or second in college football in touchdown passes, led the country in adjusted QBR and completion percentage. There's something to be, we're not talking about a player who was like QB 20 on the season, who just like did enough. A guy who was a 52% completion percentage thrower, barely threw any touch. We're talking about the guy who led FBS in passing touchdowns, or top 2 at worst, led the country in completion percentage. Like, he can play. This fascination with his demise or downfall is what I think inevitably is going to be something that he's just not going to be able to shake. Outside of him hitting the NFL and turning into Patrick Mahomes, I think it's going to be tough for a lot of people to like him. I just don't think that people care for the way that he goes about, the way that he's doing things his way. Right? It's funny how sometimes we like people to be authentically them when it makes us feel comfortable, when it's convenient for our narrative. We love for people to be them. I like it real. I like something different. We need to change until that different thing is something that you don't like, that it just rubs you the wrong way. So it's not okay for this person to do it that way, but it's okay for certain people to do it that way. It's just interesting. Shador Sanders at the podium showing confidence there. How y'all feel about that shit, man? And this whole thing with Dion, what does Dion have to do with anything? Like, who cares about Dion Sanders? Prime is in Boulder. Why does that impact anything with him? Let me see what we got in the chat, man. Yeah, man, appreciate y'all. If y'all are pulling up on a Friday night, again, we just talking ball. No kind of planned program. I got some shit that we're going to discuss and walk through, but we'll see how it works. Anthony says, I think Sanders will be a good QB, but NFL teams are looking for the QB with the highest ceiling. Yeah. I think there are some limited quarterbacks in the NFL that you scheme around and you could have some production, but I feel you. I think right now he's a solid quarterback prospect. Do I think he's anything special? No. Do I think he's god-awful? No. Do I think he's the second coming of Joe Burrow? No, I don't believe that either. I think he's a fine quarterback. Let's see what team he lands on, if he's got some weaponry around him, a creative offensive coordinator, and if he can learn and progress to work on some of his deficiencies, like holding the goddamn ball forever, running around, because I do not believe he's going to be able to do that at the next level. I think he can be fine. If you can complete the ball, like that's step one. He is an accurate thrower of the football. That is step one. Brock Purdy doesn't have the strongest arm. Teddy Bridgewater, those guys, you don't have to. A Rich has got a rocket and he can't hit anything. You know, you know, he can't hit if the ball was on the tee. And he's a grown ass man. So I think Sanders will be fine. Fine, fine, fine. But we had defensive backs today at the combine. DBs. Well, I'm gonna go to comments real quick. Let me go to chat, see what y'all are talking about. You see what y'all are talking about. Here's one. I think he has what it takes. He will come in and do work, no questions asked. His confidence. Isn't it refreshing for somebody to say something other than, I'm going to get in there and we're going to put our head down and we're going to work hard. And nah, man, I'm coming in to help change the culture of this team. We're picking number 2 for a reason. It's to a degree, and I don't believe that these two are the same caliber quarterback prospect at all. And the way that Cam Newton said it the other day was much different than the way that at least I perceive Shador to talk about this situation. But Cam Newton said, when I was drafted by the Panthers, I took over a team full of losers. That's what Cam Newton said. He said he inherited and he took over. He was drafted by a team that had a loser's mentality. And he had to shake that. And there are players, former players for the Panthers, that didn't really care for that, right? They didn't. Yeah, we lost before we got there. And when you got there, things got better. But Newton had an opportunity to walk it back, I believe, and he did not. He was like, no, when I was drafted, I was drafted by a team that had accepted, or they had a culture of losing. And I had to change that. I had to change that culture of losing. Now, maybe the way that Cam said it definitely could have been softened, but ultimately, he didn't tell a lie. And Shador wasn't saying that in this case. He just said, I'm coming in for the team that changes me as the quarterback to be that franchise changer, to help set this organization and this program in that direction. And again, whether you agree with my viewpoint or not, I respect it. We'll see where he lands and we'll see how the kid does. Ultimately, we're probably arguing about a player who's like a good quarterback, but probably needs a lot around him. I don't look at him as a truck, the truck versus trailer. Josh Allen, Mack truck. Joe Burrow truck. He can pull whatever's behind him. He's good enough to do that. Brock Purdy, probably a trailer. Dak Prescott, trailer. Patrick Mahomes, even though it's been bad, he is a truck. He's a truck. So let's talk combine, though. We're going to pull up combine IQ. Let's talk combine. Let's talk combine, baby. Anybody else's allergies killing them? Allergy season is killing you, boy. Defensive backs, tight ends. Yesterday we had, linebackers, defensive end, edge rushers, James Pierce balled out. Tight ends, you see right here, this combine IQ, I love it, man. I love it. It's fucking fantastic. We talked the other day about players participating, opting out, combine becoming obsolete here in a couple of years, GPS data being the way is all free data. This is crazy. And to this point, look at all of this, okay? You got the 40-yard speed, you got the actual times, vert, broad jump. They got all kinds of shit, right? Miles per hour. You think they need the combine to come up with some of these numbers? They're doing the drills. Y'all saw the DBs doing the W drill, and they're tracking how fast the defensive back breaks or closes. They can track all this stuff. They don't need the combine. It makes it convenient, sure, but they don't need this damn thing. They probably got every piece of analytical information on how athletic. Everybody knew, and we'll talk about Nick Emanwari, but everybody knew that fool was an athletic freak before we got there. We just got to see it. We got to see what South Carolina and insiders have probably been watching for the past 2 years. Shout out to Carter Dominic. I got to give him credit, man. Shout out to Carter Dominic. He retweeted his tweet. That's how you flex, right? When you get something right, you pull up some shit that you said and you retweet it for people to see. Right, look at me. I got this right. He did that from 2024, where he was talking about this dude, Nick Emanwari, was going to be a freak. He's going to jump far, fast, run 4.3. He was all over it. This was just our opportunity to see it. But let's start with the tight ends. Let's start with the tight end position. Tyler Warren, Colston Loveland, these dudes checked in. Loveland, 6'5", almost 6'6". Tyler Warren, 6'5", almost 6'6". Both of these dudes, 248 for Loveland, 256 for Warren. Arm length, Colston Loveland got him beat, right? 32-inch arms. Tyler Warren, 31. Mason Taylor, 32-inch arms. Arroyo, 6'5", 250. Elijah, I'm telling y'all, man. Right now in my grades, in my film grades, he graded out as tight end 3. Tight end 3. I might be biased because I got to see him. But that size, 6'5", 250, you talking about fluid? Go pull up, and that I think it's free and available. Go pull up his routes when he's out there wearing number 8. You thought he was a damn wide receiver, man. 6'5", 250. He did nothing. Mason Taylor looked good in the drills, but the only person to test and to get actual numbers from, at least combine numbers, was Harold Fannin. Harold Fannin. And this was a guy that a lot of people wanted to see because, he's not built like the other guy. Everybody else on the screen, Warren, Fannin, Loveland, Taylor, Arroyo, we're not even talking about Luke Lachey, not talking about Arondé Gadsden. We'll talk about some of those guys later. But all these guys are 6'5". Like, they profile like they can play in line. Fannin was the only one of this group that you can tell he played a little different role, right? The more that move H-back role, probably not going to be in line, but a lot of people were excited about Fannin. Prize Picks had his prop line set at 4.3. A lot of people at 4.63. A lot of people thought he would go under that time. He ends up running a 4.71, 34-inch vert, 9-foot, 10-inch broad jump, 1.5, 10-yard split. Not the best athleticism score for Harold Fannin. And I go back and forth on this. There's no doubt about it. Athleticism and tight end, I mean, it's like hand in glove. It's lock and key. You got to have it. If you're going to become an elite tight end, there's got to be that requisite level of athleticism. I'm not going to speak on does he historically hit that, but I think this is fine. I'm not worried about the 4.71. A lot of the 40 is technique. If you pop up on that thing right out the block, you're not going to run that fast. And it's 40 yards, man. It's just there's not a lot of 40-yard plays. Yeah, you're running around, but Fannin can move in and out of breaks. You don't catch 100-plus passes. Go for 1,500 yards if you can't move on the field. I saw him tear Penn State defense up, and they got first-rounders all over the place. So I'm not as concerned about his time. But what that does is people now, I don't think there is any question who the top 2 tight ends are. Now, I think now there's a conversation. Who is the tight end 3? Is it Mason Taylor, who looked – I've loved Mason Taylor for 2 years now. I've loved him for 2 years now. He's got size. I think he's a day 1 starter that you're going to be able to get in round 2. If a team doesn't take Tyler Warren 9th overall, they don't take Colston Loveland in the 20s, and you're sitting there and you're LA at 54, Kansas City at 63, multiple teams. Like Mason Taylor's going to be a second-round pick. Elijah Arroyo, once he runs at Miami's Pro Day, he's going to be late first, second-round pick. Colston Loveland, 10-inch hands, mittens, dude. Fluid. He's going to be a first-round pick. This tight end class is good. And these are just some of the top guys. Terrence Ferguson today. He put on a show. Big Ferg put on a show today. What'd he run? Ferguson run. 4.5, something like that. 4.63. That was the one that was running fast, right? Let's get Fannin off of there. Get Fannin off. This Combine IQ shit is cool, man. All free, too. Where we at, chat? How y'all feel about Fannin? How do y'all feel about the Fannin results? Hey, DBs, we'll talk about DBs in a minute. DBs were nasty. Luke Lachey didn't do anything. Gunnar Helm, my God. 4.8. Yikes. Yeah, Ferguson, 4.63. Mitchell Evans out of Notre Dame. Brennan Stool, 4.75. I like Brennan Stool coming out of Mobile. Not a fast time. Gadsden, good player. Jackson Hawes, good player. Gunnar Helm, a little disappointing. Bryson Nesbitt, disappointing. Yep. Where we at, chat? Let me go to chat, see what y'all talking about. Fannin will be an absolute bust at that size and speed. Jack Gray said Fannin, yeah, he looks good on the field, Jamie. That's what I said. I get it. Just looking at the numbers is like, that's not very good, especially when we thought he'd be a little more athletic. But he looked good on the field. I agree. He looked good on the field, Jamie. Dude's only 6'4" and 230, Ray. That's a wide receiver, and he's straight up slow for his size. Who are you talking about? Which one? 6'4", 230. Who's the 6'4", 230 cap? Gunner? Who's he talking about? Gunner? Who was 230? Gadsden? Mason Taylor ran an impressive gauntlet. Mason Taylor looked good in all the stuff, man. He's just good. Fannin slow. Yeah, see, he's talking about Fannin, 6'4", 230. Yeah, he's shorter than 6'4", too. What's he, 6'3"? Losa, yeah, he's closer to 6'3" than he is 6'4". 6'3", 240, Jack, for Fannin. We worried Fannin is barely 240. Definitely bulked up to get there, evidenced by his 40 time. That's from Tyler. Tyson. Listen, man, I said this after Mobile. Take it with a grain of salt. I'm just telling you what I witnessed. I'm telling you what I saw. Not one time during practices in an all-star football game did Harold Fannin line up in line as like a traditional tight end. I'm not saying that's bad or good, but he didn't do it. He was flexed. He played that move tight end, Y, H-back role. They had him at fullback. I don't think you want him on the line banging like that, doing shit like that. So he's going to be very scheme dependent, man. Scheme dependent. There's some stuff about Sanders in here. I'm just reading the chat. Fannin is Asiasi, Devin Asiasi. Oof. Fannin, the Bucky of this year's tight ends. Talk about it, Courtney. Okay. Fannin is the Bucky of this year's tight end groups. Test slow, but looks good on film. I mean, the tape is outstanding. I don't give a shit what the numbers did today. The tape is outstanding. You turn on the tape, and I get it. It's in the Mac. I understand it is in the Mac. But all he can do is go out there and put on wax who he's lined up against. And the tape is good. This is a good one. He's a good player. I think with tight end, though, you got to be able to come in and command it. This is year 4 of Isaiah Likely, and we're still praying, right? Like, hopefully this is the year. This is the breakout. Like, 4 years down the line, that's cool, but I just want to know where he's going to go. I think this opens up the door for a different player at tight end 3, tight end 4. Gunnar Helm didn't help himself either. So there's that. I do want to talk about some of the DBs because they put on a show today. Man, defensive backs came out blazing. A lot of dudes that are going to be picked high on some of these teams. I'm excited about it. I think we've got some new entrants in the round 1 when we start doing these mocks. Jade Barron out of Texas. Love him. Incredible defensive back, man. He reminds me of that Swiss Army knife, Mike Sanderstill, Jalen Petrie. But he goes out there and he runs a 4.39, 23 miles an hour. Like, defensive back athleticism matters. You got to be able to turn and run. You got to be able to keep up. You're playing the game backwards. You better be athletic. He put on a show out of Texas, 5'10", 194. I think he solidified himself as a first-round pick. He's a top 20 player on my board. I think he solidified himself, not just as a first-round pick, because a lot of mocks, he'd fall back there in the 20s, Green Bay in 23, able to pick him up. You know, falling to Buffalo at 30. Nah, man, I think this dude is worked his way into a top 20 pick. His defensive back class looking better and better. You had Darian Porter out there, 6'2", 195, and he ran, a 4.30. 4.30. So you got Jade Barron going 4.39. You got a 6'2" cornerback, 33-inch arms. That's the one thing that Jahdae Barron doesn't have, the arm length. 33-inch long arms, and he's running 4.30. And Darian Porter out of Iowa State, crazy. Will Johnson's official height and weight, 6'1", 194. Travis Hunter, 6', 188. Good for him. Hunter, 31-inch arm length, really good stuff. But some other names that put on a show that have been mocked and talked about being first-round talents. Trey Amos out of Ole Miss, 4.43 for Amos. Another one of those fringe first-round, second-round type cornerbacks. Kobe Bryant had a good day, looked good in drills. Ja Frazier ran fast. And then Maxwell Harrison out of Kentucky, flying. What, 4.28? 24 miles per hour, 39-inch vertical jump. Dude, you kidding me? That's nasty stuff right there from Maxwell. Probably about a month and a half ago, I mocked him round 1 to Green Bay, 23rd overall. I think he's a player, SEC experience, that athletic, that fast, and he was already kind of a fringe first rounder. I think what it does is like the Benjamin Morrisons who haven't been able to do anything because of health, that knocks him down. I'm happy to see Mac McWilliams put on a good day. I know a lot of people probably don't know who this is, but a UCF cornerback. Got to see him in Mobile, and he was shut down. He went out there and ran 4.41. So good job by Mac McWilliams. But the star of the day, probably Nick Emanwari, the safety out of South Carolina. Cam Chancellor comps all over the place now. 6'3", 220 plus, ran a 4.38, 43-inch vertical jump, 11.6 broad jump. Yeah. Reached top speed of 23.53 miles per hour. Third fastest speed by a safety over the last 3 combines. Yeah. Crazy. Emanwari out of South Carolina. Absolutely blew it up. Blew up the combine. Mason Taylor and Ferg, baby. Gadsden coming in at 240 plus. Yeah. I like Gadsden a lot. Drake and Travis. Let's talk about Trav, man. Right before I got on to do the stream, they were finishing up on NFL Network. And they said that Travis Hunter, he is adamant that he wants to play both sides of the ball. That he wants to be announced as a cornerback and a receiver, that he wants to play both ways. People I listened to multiple press conference clips, like he wants to play receiver. He feels he can do it. There are rumors and reports. It's buzz everywhere, right? Shit. I'm going to have a rumor and report tomorrow that's going to be the complete 180 from what I'm about to say. Like it's just inevitable. It's going to happen. But there are rumors and reports that Mike Vrabel loves him. I saw something that Mike Vrabel was giving Travis Hunter shit during the interview, saying, you ain't the only guy that can play both ways. You're not the only one who can go both ways in the league. Like, you're not the only defensive player that can play offense. Basically say, hey, I'm the head coach here, and I did it, and scored a bunch of touchdowns with Tom Brady. So, all in jest, all in good fun. But that's the spot. Right now, if we're looking at what we're hearing, if Tennessee doesn't want a quarterback and they can't trade out and they take Abdul Carter, the Cleveland Browns need a quarterback, they take Cam Ward. And let's just say, hypothetically, the New York Giants take Shador Sanders at 3. Let's say it goes Carter, Ward, and then you've got Shador Sanders off of the board. Maybe the Raiders trade up with the Giants. I don't know. But at 4, Travis Hunter is available for New England. I stand 10 toes down on this. I've said this all summer. I said if there were a wide receiver to challenge to be the top dog in this class, it'd be Travis Hunter. I've consistently said that I believe Will Johnson is the best corner in the class. I think he's the CB1. Yes, you could talk about, depends on the scheme, man versus zone, what kind of defense is the coordinator going to deploy. But if you're asking me, I believe that Will Johnson is the best corner in the draft. I believe that Travis Hunter is a better wide receiver today than he is defensive back. The skills translate to both positions, the ball tracking ability, the closing speed. But if you're asking me, just my opinion, guy out here in Dallas, Texas, I'm watching him, and I feel like he's a better receiver than corner. That doesn't mean he's some bad corner. I just think if it were me, I'd be, hey, man, you're a receiver. He wants to play both. New England's a spot where they don't need him to be cornerback one. You got an all-pro. You got Christian Gonzalez out there. They need a receiver. And what coincided with this buzz or this report, this smoke, is the fact that New England, they weren't going to be strong players in the T. Higgins market. Now, that was a pairing that we've commonly talked about. New England bringing in T. Higgins, they got enough cap space to give T. Higgins the money twice over. But the buzz was they are not, at least from what was said, they are not going to be big players in the T. Higgins market. So now you've got a team that is still devoid of wide receiver one. It's not Pop Douglas. It's not Javon Baker. It's not, that player does not exist on the roster right now. And you're not going to run your offense through Hunter Henry. As good as he is, as reliable and as consistent he is, you're not going to run your offense through Hunter Henry. And by all reports and all accounts, Ted McMillan is not worthy now of being a top 5 pick. So get that out of your head, Pats fans. No Ted McMillan inside the top 5. T. Higgins ain't coming. They draft Travis Hunter. What position does he play? I think it's a good spot for him to play wide receiver. Amstel54 said Pats need him 70% receiver, 30% corner. Harmon said he's the best wide receiver prospect he's charted since OBJ. Love Matt Harmon, but I don't believe that. I'm not buying that. Like, we're going, in my opinion, that's he didn't. No, I'm not going to go that far. I think he's an ultra talented receiver with big playability that can do anything and everything that elite receiver can do. But the reality is he didn't do those things. He did very little things at Colorado, but the things that he did, they're so spectacular. They're just better than we've ever seen. But I don't believe he's the best wide receiver prospect charted since OBJ, since 2014. I don't know about that, but respect and love either way. Hunter, the Patriots, Garrett Wilson. Hunter, the Patriots, Garrett Wilson. Mason Taylor. All right, we're back to that. Nobody's doing combine work anymore. Yeah, nobody. Stanley, what you laughing at, man? Hey, we just chopping it up. We just talking ball. I'm not buying that, though, man. I'm not. I'm a big fan of Travis Hunter, too, but best receiver charted since 2014, I'm just not buying that. Steve Smith. Yeah, Steve Smith. What's he say about old Trav? We ain't getting into Steve Smith's personal lives, but most recent Ringer podcast, guys, DK talked to him and said he's the best. Not too far in if you don't believe me and need to hear it for yourself. DK's okay. I mean, I I don't I don't disagree with what they said. I'm not telling you you're lying. I just don't. I would not. I wouldn't subscribe to that. I mean, do we not remember Jamar Chase just a couple of years? Do we do we not remember what people were just saying about Marvin Harrison? Like, come on, man. Reaction, like what people. I mean, he was the best receiver to ever do it. He was the best wide receiver prospect ever, Marvin Harrison Jr. Just a mere 11 months ago. Yeah, that's a wild take. What else we got? Eric is talking some fantasy football. He said, "I know we're not talking fantasy football, but maybe it's just too obvious. Why is nobody talking about Hunter being an IDP cheat code?" I think there are. Jordan Backus was like he's drafting him first overall. First overall. So I think there are, but you know, Eric, people don't play that. So what else we got? Eamon Worry balled out. Who else? Malachi Starks did well. Oh, they made his official a 4.50. That's fine. 4.50 for Starks. I've seen him in some mocks falling outside the first. I wonder how the draft community is going to treat the safeties now. If people put Eamon Worry over Malachi because of the combine, I would not. I still think Malachi Starks is a better safety than Eamon Worry, but that talent is tantalizing for sure. But I thought Starks did well. 4.50 for Starks. I'll take that. But there probably will be some that put Warrior over him now. Andrew Makuba, I thought he had a good one. Safety out of Texas, 4.45. He looks smooth. Billy Bowman, a little smaller than I like, but at least he ran fast. He's a fun player. Noel Williams out of Cal. I think I mocked him round 2 to Philly last mock. Good combine, 4.5, 40, 1.5, 10-yard split for Noel Williams. Ezra Thomas, he didn't do anything, huh? Just a broad jump. Broad jump. What a Quincy Riley. That's my guy out of Louisville, 4.48 for Riley. The Siobhan Revel injury news came back positive. Like good for Revel. Hey, these damn corners. Some of these corners were flying. Flying. It'd be interesting what old Travis works out at that Colorado Pro Day. Gonna do a little bit of both. Corner work and some wide out work. That'd be nice to see. Yeah, hit the like button for your boy, Jamie. Appreciate you, man. Got Marv. Matt didn't say. Okay. Scribbles is saying, hey, you're mishearing him. Scribbles, I didn't listen to the show, so I don't know who said what, man. All right? I'm just going off what the people said in here. He said the best wide receiver in the class. Okay, yes. I agree with that. I'm in line. We are in 100% lockstep. Egbuka, wide receiver 3, yeah. Yeah, McShay did have Starks outside the first. There was somebody else that did too. There was another mock where I saw him because I remember the Giants picked him 34 or wherever the Giants picked in the second. They had gotten Malachi Starks. Hey, Ray, what's your thoughts on Ricky White as a value in rookie drafts? I like Ricky White, man. You know, it's my hometown, Las Vegas. So Ricky White is an underrated receiver. He's smooth. He's somebody that legitimately I could see in, a couple of years you look up and he's just a team solid Tyler Boyd. Ricky White is just out there catching passes, right? Is he ever going to be probably an elite wide receiver? Probably not. And he's not going to get drafted. Historically, you really want them receivers drafted in like the top 50. Outside of that, you're throwing darts and you ain't a professional dart thrower. So I like Ricky White, but yeah, sure, he'll be a value because he'll be late. Quinn, 60. Hey, did y'all see that? Am I tripping? Talk to me, chat. Family. The combine projection 40-yard dash time for Quinn Ewers tomorrow is 4.62. Quinn, and it stayed all day. I thought that would move. Are my eyes deceiving me? Is there something I don't know about Quinn? Does he got jetpacks in the legs? Quinn Ewers, 4.62. I need some feedback, baby. Is that happening? Are y'all taking the over or under on that? All right. I like Egbuka to the Texans. Yeah, I love that. I would like Egbuka to Houston. I think Luther Burden also is a good fit there. And we'll see what wide receivers pop tomorrow. They'll just like people are going crazy over Warrior tonight. If it's Jalen Noel tomorrow, thinking of another receiver that can go out there and play. I don't think Emeka's going to do shit. Ohio State, we'll see. The last couple of Ohio State wide receivers have done nothing at the combine. So I don't expect him to run. Burden said he's going to run, so that's good. Burden said he's going to run. Let's look at who we got tomorrow. Receiver group. Ted McMillan not doing anything. We already know Ted's not doing anything. Burden said he's going to run. I don't know anything about Emeka. Tez is probably running. We'll see what Trey Harris does. Isaiah Bond said today that he plans to run 4.1. Break the record. 4.1 for Isaiah Bond, wide receiver out of Texas. Jalen Noel, a big fan of Noel in his game. Big fan of his game. Restrepo, there's Ricky White, Pat Bryant, Nick Nash. LeJounte Wester, keep an eye on him. This dude can play, and nobody's showing LeJounte any love at all. So we got wide receivers tomorrow, running backs. No look good in drills. No look real good. Noel Williams is nice out of Cal. He's a good player and good size too. So I think he improved. He impressed today to be a top 75 cat. I feel good about having him in my top 75. Looked really good. Burden this year's QJ? Stop it. Amstel, what are you doing? Why are you saying that, man? These are all the grades right here. Top performers. Yeah, this combine IQ thing is kind of cool. All right, let's see what else we got in the chat. Let's see what else we got in the chat before we get up out of here. What's up, Slashy? Um, Here's one on Harris. I've been seeing Trey Harris's name pop up a bunch. Ray, can you add to the list of prospect vids? Yeah, I actually have. I actually had recorded one prior to the Senior Bowl, and I never sent it to Jay Rich to get edited. So yes, Trey Harris is a good player. We'll see what he does tomorrow. Trey Harris is a good player. I like him. I got you, Courtney. Yeah, Trey's nice. Golden first round talent. Fringe. Probably not. Doesn't mean the team won't do it. First round talent. Probably not on the grade. Observation of Life said over 4.2. Stanley said he's a 4.7-ish guy. Still take the helm 40 times faster than Quinn. Unreal if Gunnar Helm is slower than Quinn Ewers. I see we've reached the point of the calendar where everyone lets numbers on a spreadsheet erase players' career worth of film. Who you talking about, Slashy? Which player? Which player are you talking about? I just want to know. I mean, you know what it is. Don't act like you ain't been here before. You know what it is. You know how people react at this time. We all do. I actually feel like at least the 1,000 people that are watching this right now, I feel like there's good level-headedness going on. I haven't seen any crazy reactions in the chat. I haven't seen anything just outlandish. I feel like we're doing a good job. Slash, you give us some credit on the Friday night, man. Come on, baby. Jamie called Ewers a basic pocket passer. Come on, man. People worried about Burton's 24. Did y'all see the answer? Somebody shout out to whoever the gentleman was who asked Burton. See if I can find it real quick. Let's listen to this. I'm gonna find it real quick. Let's go Luther Burton. They asked him about his production, and I just want y'all to hear his answer, and then you tell me what you think. Let me find the right one so YouTube doesn't, you know what I mean, I could ban the thing and take it off because I'm using I want to find that where he asked him about the production and the dip, and he really didn't answer it. I don't know if he was trying to say like my quarterback was stinky, or he just was dodging it. But I'm trying to find this thing. Oh, here it is. Here it is right here. Here it is. Hold on. I'll let y'all hear it. Hold on. Here it is.
Dip is in your junior year. You were wildly productive as a sophomore. What do you think led to the dip as in your junior year?
I feel like, the opportunities I was given, I just tried to make my opportunities count when I was given the ball this year. So, obviously, there was a lot more sophomore year. So,
you were wildly productive.
He just, hey, man, some shit happened. Sounded like he wanted to blame a little bit of the quarterback, but he didn't do it. Yeah, people are worried about it. And I don't think that we should just ignore it and say, no big deal. He didn't produce, no big deal. Look at what he did the year before. If that's the case, do it for Ollie Gordon. If that's the case, give Ollie that same out. If it does not matter, give Ollie that same one. Because Ollie, people said that was the RB1. Had Ollie Gordon declared and come out last year, he would have been the RB1 or the consensus viewed RB1 over damn Jonathan Brooks. Theo Weiss balled out. Everyone talks about Burden, but give Theo Weiss some props. Theo Weiss led that team and received. Theo Weiss, if you just turn on the tape and you remove the idea and what you thought and projected Burden to be coming into the season and really just looked at them cats play, and you were like, hey, who's better, number 3 or that Weiss guy over here? I think some people be like, who's Weiss? That's the fluid outside dynamic playmaker that I want. I think Burden is good. I think Luther Burden is a good complementary wide receiver. I think on the right team and the right offense, he can be what Jaden Reed is to the Green Bay Packers. Absolutely. I think he can be a dynamic number 2 option for CJ Stroud in Houston. 100%. But he needs to play in a certain offense in a certain role. And I don't view him as this big play, number 1, top 6, top 8, top 10 type of wide receiver prospect. I don't think he's Jackson Smith and Jigba. JSN thrives on the inside. I don't think he's JSN. I think he's a good receiver that we want very much to like more. And he does do, like, he's the type of guy that I would fall for a lot in the past. Yak, get the ball in his hands quickly, let him out athletic everybody else. But I just know that at the next level, you can't just do that every play. You've got to have some proficiency. You got to have sideline awareness. You got to be able to do some other things outside of out athlete Michael Parsons and Quinn Williams and Kyle Hamilton, because it's not going to happen. Half the time, them damn defenders are more athletic than the guy on the offensive side of the ball. So I don't ignore it, but it's not the end-all be-all. Like, he's a talented player, the tools and the traits, the athleticism is there, and hopefully tomorrow Luther Burden shows that. Mogg said Royals is a solid wide receiver 3 for me. Yeah, that's fine. Got nothing wrong with that, Moggs. Jake Ferguson made himself some cash today. Ferg can play. Incredible at the Senior Bowl. Love talking to him. He was a productive player at Oregon. I've continued to talk his name. I would love to see San Francisco spend a 3rd-round pick on him. You put him in that offense and let him learn under Kittle. Let him play that number 2 role, number 3 tight end role his first year under Kittle, couple years under George Kittle. Would love him. Hell, Kansas City in the 3rd. If they don't want to spend a high pick on an Arroyo or trying to get one of those guys, 3rd round, if they got some capital, throw that joint at Ferguson out of Oregon. He's a really good player. Elick Manor, he's low. I'll tell you that right now. I'm not as high on Elick. So where are you ranking Manor, the catching Canadian? Does he deserve top 5 rookie ranks? Let me tell you right now. He is 6'5" Elick. Yeah, he's after Besh, he's after Royals, he's after Golden, he's after Bond. If that gives you anything, I guess he'd be like 9 or 10, maybe. Maybe. He's tied with Jaden Higgins, or a little spot above Jaden Higgins. Arizona had a bad QB play. Yeah, Noah Fafita was a little booty this year. Reminds me of the JSN video about Shane Waldron. Yeah. Too many ums for me, just adjusted my ranks. MDS, it's funny you say that, but as somebody who talks and I know people are listening, I try very hard to watch the ums. And when I do, I try to make it a part of what I'm saying. But it's tough talking in front of people. It is a skill. It is definitely a skill. I hear all the ums and uhs when I'm listening to folks. I'm just stop, take a breath, be quiet. Tyson said Burden feels 100% landing spot dependent. I'm not going to say 100% landing spot dependent, but he 100% needs a good landing spot. I think. I do not believe that he's just plop and drop and he's going to thrive in any offensive situation. I don't believe that. Is Kyle McCord just an early version of Derek Carr? Oh. I don't know. I don't know. I don't even, Jamie, I don't even want to go down that path. I don't know. All right. If that's his nickname too, I don't know if he's the catching Canadian or not, but I kind of like that. Yeah, Rondell scared me for life. Yeah, that Rondell Moore, that yak, elite yak receiver manufacturer. And I don't believe that Burden is schemed up touches the way Rondale Moore was, but yeah. I have a scar from Rondale Moore, wide receiver 1 takes. Disgusting. Where are we at on Ben Sinnott? Nowhere. Where's Zach Ertz? Where's Zach Ertz? Burden and Gordon will be solid starters if they land in the right spot. What Gordon? Ollie Gordon? Mogg said, I'm excited to see what Bashal Tootin, Woody Marks, and Kalel Mullings does tomorrow. Yeah. I'm supposed to be streaming tomorrow, but little man's got a doubleheader, so I'm probably going to do a night recap. After we get all the quarterbacks, the running backs, wide receivers, I'll probably just jump on late. Ray, do you like the Tees in Dallas run? The what? The hell's the Tees in Dallas run? What is that? I have no clue what you're talking about, Scribbles. Part of me feels like you're saying tight ends, but I don't know what you're saying. Ray, I've never noticed Ray doing the sometimes I do, but I try hard to just shut up and take a second and pause. You probably noticed me do that a little bit. Pause and think. That's better than saying and ah. I'm moving on from Ben Sinnott back to his true spot of fullback. I'm not getting here. Okay. Now we're just saying anything. Cody is talking about Ben Sinnott being a damn fullback. We got Rondale Moore takes flowing into the chat. What else do we have? Burden to Houston would be fun. Completely agree. Completely agree. Burden is Rashee Rice. Can be elite in a good offense. And Rashee Rice is in Kansas City with Patrick Mahomes. It's like that's threading the needle. If I need Burden to land in Cincinnati, if I need him to land with Josh Allen or Jalen Hurts, I don't know. I don't know about that one. I know you don't think Dallas should take Ashton Genty, but do you realistically think they pass if he's on the board? No, I don't think they pass. But I'll just tell you, I'm being honest. I'm just looking at what I see. Did y'all see the pictures, the video of Omarion Hampton? Wow. Physical freak. Omarion Hampton is built like a tank. Is a dude for a lot of people, for a lot of the process, was the running back 2, 3 at worst. And I know Todd McShay and some others have pumped up Travion Henderson, excited. Okay, we got Caleb Johnson, Dylan Sampson, we got all the Cam Scatterboo. What about that Scatterboo not running? How we feel? Y'all gonna tear him up like Shador? That Scatterboo ain't do nothing. Think he'll do the vertical jump. We don't give a damn. We don't give a damn about your vert. Run that 40. Who was I talking about? Genty. Omarion Hampton, built like a tank. Wow. Mel Kiper put Omarion Hampton at 12 to the Cowboys. People said he was crazy. I'm just looking at him. I'm like, man. And he's 20 years old. Omarion Hampton's a good back. What I got him at? I have him graded, man, right behind Caleb Johnson. Right behind Caleb Johnson. Yeah, Scribbles typing on an iPad. Come on, man. God damn, Scribbles. You got to get it together. Tight ends in Dallas. I figured it had to be with something tight. You're talking about tea. I'm thinking you asked me about a damn tea house. I don't go drink tea, man. I drink water. That's it. Water and Topo Chico. Tight ends in Dallas. Yeah, I think I think it's in play. Dallas picks at 12. They pick at 44. I personally believe there's some other positions that need to be a priority. Listen, you draft the goddamn Schoonmaker a couple of years ago. You got Ferg under contract. Just ride him out. I would love for Dallas to take a tight end, but if they do, it probably needs to be much later. Unless they shock the world and go Colston Loveland, Tyler Warren, I just don't think they should do it. They need to prioritize other positions. And if they're going to take a tight end, the tight end class is good. Take one later. Take one later. Burden to Dallas? I don't know, man. CeeDee Lamb occupies the slot a lot, and that's what Burden does. Don't give me he can play outside. No, he's played inside. That's what he does. That's what he's comfortable at doing. That's what he's good at doing. Don't try to force a round peg into a square hole. Let Burden do Burden shit. CeeDee Lamb does that, right? Dallas needs a boundary receiver, a receiver that primarily plays on the outside. What Michael Gallup was supposed to be to that Amari Cooper early, we need a downfield boundary receiver to allow CeeDee Lamb to play inside outside. I don't want Luther Burden in Dallas. I don't. Dallas needs a running back. Henderson, Judkins, I don't care who it is. I don't care. Get a damn running back. Keith, enjoy your chats. Been watching 3 years and give you props on your takes. It's entertaining, yo. That's what we're here to do. Talk ball, entertain. It's freaking Friday night, you know. It's been a long-ass week. Your job's done pissed you off. I know some of y'all with kids, they're running you crazy. You know, the weekends ain't even like a damn weekend. Got to get up. I'm hungry. I want to do this. This is broken. I flooded the toilet. Can't find my glove. You know, it's tough. It's tough. Well, it's a good responsibility to have, but the whole point is, yes, when y'all pull up, when we talk some sports, let's have some engaging conversations. I like to argue, but it's all love and it's all respect, and hopefully y'all stay entertained. So hit the thumbs up button, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe. This is what we do. It's a good chat. It's a good community of people over here, for real. Now, everybody who watches is a dope community. I may not get to every comment. I may not get to every question, but I see you, Stanley. I see you, Jamie. I see you, Moggs. I see you, Joseph. I see you, MDS. I see y'all. Appreciate it, too. All right, Lauren. What's up, Lauren? Got the ladies in the house. What's up? Scatterboo's a fade. Feel like his game won't translate to the next level. I'll be honest with y'all. I graded Scatterboo on the grade. Y'all know where he ranked? 9. I mean, he graded out good. I think he's solid. I think he's a fine complimentary running back, like straight up. I do not believe, I don't care what you say. I don't think he's the type of guy that you say, oh yeah, we're drafting him, that he's going to tote the rock 25 times a game in our offense. He's going to lead this backfield. I don't believe that. But as a complimentary back, 2-headed rotation, 3-headed rotation, I think he can get the job done. Like that's no slight. I think there are a bunch of backs in this class. I don't think Brashard Smith is a full-time back. I think he's a complimentary weapon. I don't think Bashel Tootin is a full-time back. I don't think there are many of those. Scatterboo, you want him to compete. You want him to answer some of those questions, right? Some of those questions about the athleticism, because we know athleticism matters far more than the QB who you know is a pocket passer not running. Like, I want to see it for the running back. But he'll do it as pro day, and I'm not going to rip him. Yeah, you want to see it because you just want to see it, right? But I didn't rip him one time for that coming out and him not running. Not one rip from me. He ain't running. Like, good for you. You know, sure, you should have competed. We would have loved to see it, but control your narrative, young man. Go run at Arizona State, and you better run fast. That's what you control your narrative, and you better go deliver. You better run fast, right? And here's the thing, Lauren. Here's the thing. People like Scatterboo. So he's got a cult following. People love him. So we'll see. Joseph said, what RB are you most intrigued to see how they work out tomorrow? I'll say Damian Martinez is one. Quinshawn, because his projected 40 time has been all over the place. I want to see Quinshawn. Does he answer some of those long speed concerns? Jaden Blue out of Texas. I think he's going to fly tomorrow. And that's going to be one of the running back names coming out of the combine. I think people are going to start talking about more and more. Get Jaden Blue as that weapon, receiving weapon. I always talk about difference between a running back that can catch passes and be deployed as a pass catching weapon. He can be deployed as a pass catching weapon. So Jaden Blue. Ollie Gordon, Big Ollie, from 2,000 plus yards a year ago to 800 yards this year and 12 touchdowns on a team that didn't win a single Big 12 game. I want to see how Big Ollie performs. They got his 40-yard dash line set at 4.53. I love you, Ollie. You my dog, man. We got to chop it up at the Senior Bowl. That's my dog, man. I'm going to text Ollie, but I don't think he's running sub 4.53. I'm fading Scat Pack just because everyone's hyping, bro. Solo Ray. Appreciate it, Mox. Hey, Solo Ray get thirsty, man. I'm over here. I want to drink, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. Dallas needs to load up on D-line, yeah. Got to bounce. Appreciate you, Courtney. Thank you for coming in. I'm about to get out of here, too, after winning the trenches. Burden to Dallas, no. Hendo to Dallas, sure. I'll be fine with that at 44. I don't know why y'all are stop saying good names to Dallas. They're not drafting Henderson. They're not drafting Cade. They're not doing anything that makes sense. Stop it. Think complete opposite. think the complete opposite. The tight end to Dallas in round one. There's the play. They're not taking any. They're not doing it. They're not doing anything that they're supposed to do. Give me a bold prediction for tomorrow. Here's my bold prediction. And we're going to end on this. I'm going to flood the toilet. Adam Zaff laugh. You just never, the things that get flushed and tossed around, man, it's crazy. He's the Harold Fannin of running backs. Y'all are wild. Why do prospects prefer working out at their pro day versus televised combine? It's their environment, man. You know? If you had the opportunity to cook with your own utensils. You know how your oven heats shit up, how your stove works versus this unknown environment that you don't know how you would, if you could control it and then not affect how your outcome is, how you're paid, your ability to get the job. I think we would all control our environment if we could. Hey, if you can come to my house and do the interview here, or we can go to a place of my choosing where I'm comfortable to do it. That is why they're on their field with their music that they picked out. They're throwing to their receivers that they've worked with, and they're probably doing some of the same scripted stuff that they've done for years together, or at least over the past couple of months in season. He's going to know how Will Shepard runs an out route. He will know where LeJontay Wester's supposed to be on a double move. When Travis Hunter's out there, they're going to be in sync, opposed to him going out there throwing the ball to goddamn Pat Bryant from Illinois. They ain't never thrown a ball to Pat Bryant in his life. You know? He doesn't want to throw to Nick Nash. He wants to throw to Travis Hunter and LeJontay Wester. So that is why. And this is something that I believe is only going to continue until we get to a point where the combine is no longer the type of combine that you and I grew up with. It's going to happen sooner rather than later, whether you like it or not. Mark my words. It is going to change. Just like everything changes and evolves, so too will the combine. Ray, what do the Commanders need first round? You want to protect Jaden? Probably not there, right? He's a dynamic guy. I've mocked defensive back to the Commanders, and they said they don't want it. Every Commanders fan that I talk to wants a receiver next to Terry McLaurin, especially with what's his name potentially leaving in free agency. I think they need a running back at some point in the draft. I think another receiver at some point, but defensively, get Dan Quinn a chess piece. What about Jahad Campbell out of Alabama? How would you feel about Campbell? James Pierce if he falls. They're saying that Josh Allen is available for trade, which means there's a vacancy on the defensive front. Walter Nolan, maybe, with Dan Quinn. Get him his version of Micah Minnie on the outside with Pierce or with Jahad Campbell. Arian Smith runs the fastest 40. Arian Smith can fly, man. All right, there was a comment that I want to get to, and then I'm going to get out of here. Where was it at? It was a good one. Rocket Sanders flooded the toilet. It was somewhere up here in the flooded toilet zone. Got a dip. Workouts. Yeah. Warren to Dallas. I mean, I know it sounds crazy, man, but I wouldn't be shocked if it happened. Quint Allen, that's a good name. RayG is the man. Appreciate you, Jamie. Appreciate you. Bold prediction. Rocket Sanders. Great community. Harold Fannin. Kyron. Jack's going to surprise everyone and draft an RB early. Cohen wants his guy. I don't hate it, man. I don't hate it. All right, y'all. That's it. Told wifey I was going to do 1 hour. Gave y'all an hour 10. Hour and 10. Damn, missed my question at the buzzer. All love, right? Peyton, what'd you say? What'd you say, Peyton? Do you think that the depth of the RB class will end up hurting their draft capital? We as evaluators say it's the best since 17. In theory, we could see a ton of backs go day 2. But will the Yeah. Depth is good, Peyton. I definitely think that you can see teams just wait. I remember what I was going to say too. I'll close out with that. Because the depth is good, they probably can wait. They can wait a little bit and get a LaQuint Allen in the 4th or 5th round, Woody Marks in the 6th round. I saw right before the stream, RJ Harvey, who I've graded one spot, like literally 1 point, 10th of a hundredth or whatever of a point ahead of Scadaboo. There's some evaluators and draft people who say he's going to be a 7th round pick to undrafted free agent, RJ Harvey. And he's talented as shit. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know where they're all going to slot in, but here's my bold prediction. And it has to do with the running back position. I believe that once we get to tomorrow night, and we'll be here, so I'll be able to own up to this and be like, I told you so, or damn, they really disappointed. But I don't think that we're going to come out of tomorrow with these wholesale positional movements. I think everybody's still going to believe that, for the most part, Ted McMillan is the top wide receiver. And for the most part, people are going to still believe that Ashton Jeanty is the top running back. But when we see 6'1", 220-pound plus Caleb Johnson, 6 foot, 225-pound tank Omarion Hampton, when we see Damian Martinez, when we see Travion Henderson run, and these dudes are going to run fast, and these gentlemen are very big, I do believe that you're going to hear these conversations start about, why Jeanty at 6 when you can get Hampton at 22? Why Jeanty at 10 to the Bears when you can get Caleb Johnson 24 to Minnesota? I think we're going to roll out of tomorrow night. And for the players who have not been in the mainstream media, the underclassmen, think about it. Caleb Johnson, when's the last time? He ain't played since November. Omarion Hampton, hell, he ain't played since October. It's later than that, but you get the point. No Senior Bowl, no Shrine Bowl. These players have been out of sight, out of mind for months. And you're going to see them, and they're going to test like freaks. And I believe that people are going to be like, holy shit. It ain't just Ashton Jeanty at the top by himself looking down upon, the peons of the other running backs. But I think we're going to be at a point where a lot of people are like, I'd be just as good with Hampton. I'd be just as good with Caleb. I'm just as good with Travion Henderson. And a lot of that has to do with being out of sight, out of mind, which Hampton, Henderson, Sampson, these guys have been out of sight, out of mind. They weren't at the Senior Bowl. They weren't at the Shrine Bowl because they're underclassmen. I think we're going to walk away from tomorrow night with a couple of running backs that we at least feel just as good about, if not as on equal footing as Ashton Jeanty. I truly believe that's going to happen after tomorrow night. Appreciate it, man. 170 people here on YouTube and 1,000 on X. Pretty cool. Well, 960. So close enough. It's going to be a good group tomorrow. Appreciate everybody pulling up. Thank y'all for vibing with me. If you watch this after the fact, this is what we do. We just talk ball with the community. Thank you, Adam, Jamie, everybody in the chat. Hit the thumbs up button, like the stream, follow me on X, follow the Fantasy Football channel, DDFFB. We'll be doing some post-combine rookie content. It's all NFL draft all the time over here. Enjoy your Saturday. Enjoy those kiddo sporting events. And I'll be back tomorrow night to recap quarterbacks, wide receivers, and